This is the story of a French noblewoman that in the early 14th century turned to piracy after the French king, Philip VI, executed her husband for treason. Seeking vengeance against the French crown, she targeted French ships and nobles, earning the nickname the Lioness of Brittany. This is the incredible story of Jeanne de Belleville. Hello and welcome. If you would like to see more from Untold History Women, then just click on that subscribe button. Now, let's start today's video. Viewer discretion is advised. This is an educational documentary. Jeanne was born in 1300 in Belleville-sur-Vendée. She was the daughter of nobleman Maurice IV Montaigu of Belleville and Lettice of Parthenay, located in the Gâtine Vendéenne near the border with the Duchy of Brittany. Jeanne's family was involved in winemaking, salt farming, and trading these goods. They had business connections reaching as far as the Iberian Peninsula and England. Their activities included merchant shipping along the River Vie and the coast of Poitou and Brittany, with a stronghold on the island of Eu. Jeanne's father died when she was just 4 years old, and there are no records showing her mother remarried. Jeanne was likely born from her father's second marriage, as he was previously married to Sibylle of Chateaubriant, with whom he had a son named Maurice. When her half-brother Maurice died around 1320 without any heirs, Jeanne inherited the seigneuries of Montaigu and Belleville. In 1312, Jeanne's family married her to a local nobleman at the age of only 12. She gave birth to 2 children by the age of 15 before her husband died. Jeanne swiftly became a highly sought-after widow within the community. She married again in 1328 with a man named Guy of Penthièvre, likely to protect her children. However, their marriage was annulled 2 years later, in 1330, due to family disputes, and Guy died in 1331. In 1330, soon after her annulment, Jeanne married a third man named Oliver IV of Clisson, a wealthy Breton with a castle at Clisson, a manor house in Nantes, and lands at Blois. Oliver's first wife had died in 1329. He had a son named June from his first marriage, who inherited his mother's lands near Paris. Jeanne, a widow herself, controlled lands in Poitou near the Breton border. When she married Oliver, they combined their assets, becoming a powerful seigneurial couple in the region. Jeanne ensured her children's inheritances from her previous marriage were protected in the marriage contract. Jeanne and Oliver had 5 children together. During the Breton War of Succession, Jeanne and Oliver supported Charles de Blois against John de Montfort for the French throne. Oliver's family was divided on this issue. In 1342, their castle became the headquarters for the French forces. Oliver was captured by the English in 1342, but was released under suspicious circumstances. In 1343, during a truce, he was arrested, accused of treason for allegedly corresponding with King Edward of England, which violated the terms of the truce agreement, and he was tried in Paris. Jeanne attempted to free Oliver, even resorting to bribery, but failed. She evaded arrest with the help of allies and fled to Brittany. Oliver was executed in August 1343 without a public trial, causing outrage among the nobility. Jeanne, charged with bribery, was sentenced to banishment and had her property confiscated. She took her sons to Nantes to see their father's head displayed on a pike, fueling her resolve for revenge against King Philip VI and Charles de Blois, who she considered responsible for Oliver's unjust execution, since they had the power to intervene on Oliver's behalf and save him, but chose not to. Following Oliver's execution, Jeanne sold their estates and assembled a force of approximately 400 loyal men and began her piracy. She began targeting French forces in Brittany. Her attacks included seizing a castle at Tofu near Bignon, where her forces massacred a garrison after being recognised and allowed entry by an officer of Charles de Blois. Additionally, she targeted a garrison at Château Thebaud, a former post under her husband's control, located about 20 kilometres southeast of Nantes. Jeanne also reportedly converted 3 merchant ships into war vessels, possibly painting them black and dyeing their sails red. Some versions suggest assistance from the English king and Breton sympathisers. Her flagship was known as my Revenge. These ships, known as the Black Fleet, initially targeted shipping in the Bay of Biscay, likely operating from the island fortress of Eu. Later, they moved to the English Channel, attacking French commerce ships. Jeanne's forces would kill entire crews, leaving only a few witnesses to spread the news to the French king. This strategy, known as commerce raiding, aimed to disrupt enemy logistics at sea. Jeanne's ruthless tactics earned her the nickname the Lioness of Brittany. The crews used a swarming tactic equipped with grappling equipment and weapons like crossbows, swords and daggers, similar to guerrilla warfare on land. The Pointy du Raz, a promontory that extends into the Atlantic from western Brittany, was particularly favoured for piracy because of its numerous small islands, ideal for surprise attacks. Local tradition suggests Jeanne may have used her family castle on the island of Eu for her initial attacks. She also raided coastal villages in Normandy, leaving a path of destruction. Though sometimes labelled as an English privateer, Jeanne lacked official documentation for such a role. During the Crécy campaign in 1346, she supported English forces by supplying them with her ships. The French eventually engaged her fleet, sinking her flagship. Jeanne and her 2 sons were left adrift for 5 days, resulting in her son William's death from exposure. They were rescued by Montfort supporters and taken to Morlaix. Despite this setback, Jeanne continued piracy in the Channel for another 13 years. In her later years, Jeanne found solace and perhaps a semblance of peace at the castle of Hennebont, where she remained until her passing in December 1359, leaving behind a legacy marked by both defiance and resilience. And you guys, did you know the story of Revenge by this incredibly powerful woman? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you liked this topic because this is part of a series of videos about iconic women of history, so make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss the next episode. Thank you for watching.